Welcome back to a interesting session. So, last session, there were many things that happened. Particularly, Fennec was very gracious in the fact that he upheld his end of the bargain towards the ooze in which he is sharing his body with. Foiled by Zarya in his attempt to go for a simple walk by himself with no ulterior motives at all that the party knows, he relinquished control with the idea that he didn't want to get Fennec to be even more suspected. So it's as if he's been plowing the seed of thought that the party doesn't actually trust Fennec, which those of you who have tuned in for long enough, you can answer that. Do you actually think the party trusts Fennec? If you want, add a message or add a comment, add something to see, thumbs down if you think that they don't trust him. What are your thoughts? Party, do you actually trust Fennec?
I hate this little bastard because he takes me being safe and not wanting us to get one shot in the woods by not buddying up. It makes it seem like I hate him. I don't. I am neutral. I like him. Fucker. I will kill this little thing. I trust Fennec.
I was going to say, so when you say little thing, you're talking about Fennec, aren't you?
No, I'm talking about the little thing in the little thing's head.
Well, this thing is a part of Fennec.
The other little thing.
Yes.
So, gotcha. So you're trying to make him a eunuch. I gotcha. I see. Clever.
What?
What?
What did you say?
Oh, I said you're trying to make him a eunuch. Clever.
No! Nasty. Get your head out of the gutter. Wax you with a newspaper.
Well, you said the little guy, so what am I supposed to think?
No, the little slime thing.
But, with that, yes, absolutely, this thing may be trying to attempt to skew the perspective of things. But, remember, those are things your character does not know. You may know that, but character is...
I know. I hate it.
Gosh darn that third world knowledge. But, with that, over the course of the last several hours, because we didn't really get too far over the last session, this is in particular because we were shorted a Ceres of that session, who we're going to get back to in a few moments. But the players themselves had interesting connections through their characters as to what might possibly be going on. So, for some knowledge, a whip or a belt, or whatever concoction the characters within the story have used for this item, has been found, and there has been some sort of usage towards it, whereas it was lodged into a tree. It is clear that the cult of the Emerald Claw has once more graced their presence. There has been also some information of a list of some items that need to or already have been acquired. The players have a lot to sift through as they continue their journey forward towards Korth. Some of the other other goals that they have in mind, if they still so choose, they're searching for Uncle Ram, who has vanished on a vacation in Karnath, completely innocent and, no connection to any sort of government or anything like that. And were also further inquired before they crossed borders in an attempt to find any information they can on Ramos Durin. They have found that he was smuggled in by seedier connections, which kind of deepen the question of who the hell is this dude? But before we dive too much further, we're going to let the players add in any of their characters' perspectives into my brief synopsis of the situation. So, players, is there anything you feel I missed, or anything that I may have over-exaggerated, under-exaggerated, or may have plain forgot?
Just that Fennec Gearfried did ask Fennec about how he was feeling with, regard to the whole thing talking to him, and he straight up said that he feels like he's okay and everything's all right.
So he's A-okay.
Just proof that he has no sense of risk assessment.
Zarya did call him out a bit on that, of like, why did you do that self-destructive thing? I think his answer was along the lines of scientific discovery, curiosity.
Yep, sounds about right.
Which, like, she doesn't completely get just because she's not a scientific person, but she'll stand by him, help him. I think that's what she said. It's been a minute.
During this time, while Ceres had been in a meditative state, Melee would have been hovering closer to her as if a satellite, not veering too far off out of an orbit.
Okay.
Ceres,
with
the previous night and the fact that, and we're going to be 100% honest, if Caius wanted to teleport out of there with her, he could have, and you know it. What state is Ceres in at this point?
She looks very calm and composed.
I almost feel like there's a deception check coming.
Is anyone inciting her?
Not yet, but
if you're being introspective, that's not really an insight check.
So, calm and composed. What about on the inside?
She's contemplating actions. Realizing maybe she needs a better layer of contingency planning for her bodyguard.
Alrighty.
Perhaps the people that she believes are capable of looking after Melee are not in fact capable of looking after.
Interesting. So seeds of doubt in the party have been sown. We'll see. So, with this, we're going to start as the night passes, and it is now the start of a new day. If you had any sorts of resources burned or anything you might have done, go ahead and take that long rest. If there's anything specifically you would like to have done on the overnight, we can pause there to take care of that.
Gearfried, after having his discussion with Zarya about how potentially Gearfried's family could be targeted by what we assume to be the undead King Caius, Gearfried will have. I mentioned it last session, but he took off his shoulder pads, just kind of looked at them, He is then going to spend the night fitting his stealth armor, and he's just taking a few extra hours to like make sure all of the iconography, anything like really identifiable that would link him to his family or to his mentor, all of that is, none of that showing. He's not even using his crowbar anymore. He's kind of stashing that away, fitting out Cogfried to look like the owl again, and additionally, he will approach Fennec, and even though Fennec is not here, he will just explain to Fennec that he trusts him because they're in this together with their new union idea here. So he trusts Fennec when Fennec says that he has a handle on it, and he's going to take the spell storing item and he is going to put Vortex Warp inside of it and give it to Cogfried, who is now under the guise of Strix. And then that is all Gearfried's doing. Stealth armor, Cogfried, spell storing item is Vortex Warp, and Cogfried has it.
Alrighty. Is there anything else anybody else would like to do?
There's is probably looking actually a little distracted, partially for the melee thing and partially for something else that she keeps sort of like touching the small of her back questioningly. Like it's like a little tap, a little like, huh, like she's feeling something, but she's not actually like, she seems to be sort of going out of her way to not actually look at it. Like, if you work, like, you can sort of like try to crane around and like, what's on my back? She seems to be very much not doing that, even though she seems to be sort of like these like curious little like, huh, like you're like feeling something on your back, like maybe like something falls down the back of your shirt and you're like sort of trying to like get at it, but she's trying to be calm about it, like not too anxious, not too panicky about it.
Noted.
Zarya wants to make sure that at the very least Melee is very disguised. Brings it up with the group if we should all be disguised. Because now they know what we look like.
Saris will look at Zarya. Don't worry, I'll take care of it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, no, I've got this. You do whatever it is you do.
Okay, so you have disguises? Or...
I can disguise Melee. I'll keep us safe.
Okay. Still worried about everyone else because they literally saw all of our faces.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Well, most of our faces.
No, Levin was in the woods, literally killing the vampire spawn.
Anyone
some
who
of
saw
us are
Levin's
not-
face is dead.
Some of us are not as sneaky as Levin. And have to be
Paris-
upfront and punchy.
Would use her disguise kit to disguise Melee and herself.
What are you disguising Melee as?
I think Theros is going to disguise herself as a sort of mid-tier kind of industrious self-independent kind of get their hands dirty kind of traveling merchant, and she is going to disguise Melee as kind of her assistant / apprentice.
Are we talking low, middle, or high class merchants?
Kind of like lower tier middle, like not wealthy enough to like afford a cart or some of the nice things that would make traveling easier. Presumably she spent all her money on these bodyguards around her, to protect her on her travels from bandits. For her and her apprentice.
As you have a flying ship
Maybe.
or a hovering ship.
Yeah. Well, Gearfried is obviously our carriage driver.
So not wealthy enough to afford a carriage, but you have a carriage.
I hired Gearfried. It's not my carriage.
Noted. Gotcha. Listen, you're not being interrogated yet, so just things to think about.
Yeah. Well,
Also-
yes, sir. Yeah.
Sorry, out of character. I know there's a spell that can like hide people from magical. It's not like hide from scrying, but it's a hide from like magical detection.
Yeah.
And I don't know if any of us.
Melee has a necklace for that already.
Cool
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
And Cyrus can
Specifically-
actually technically cast it. I'm capable of casting that spell. I just don't have the component because it requires 50 gold pieces worth of diamond dust.
The other part is you also know that you have at least 2 party members whose personal items have been stolen to use for scrying. You have also been detected and spotted, which changes the scrying difficulty roll for.
Yeah.
So
I know
there's
like a
multiple avenues, but Melee
Not against
specifically is
scrying,
protected
but-
from that.
No, that's
Not-
the scrying. It is scrying. The thing you're thinking
Yeah, no,
about.
it's different. No, it's a different spell that I'm thinking about. That's not protection against scrying. That's a different thing. I'm thinking of like you make it come off as a different thing. So when
Nistel's magic aura, where it
Yes.
pings as something else, and that's only related to the
thingy.
school or to not have a school at all.
Yeah,
damn. Okay.
Yeah, it's not.
It's more of an obscuring effect. It's not prevention.
Okay. I thought of that really quickly, and I was like, "What?" I was just scouring my brain of like, "What can we do? What can we
The
pile
typical
on?"
one used here is non-detection.
Yeah.
Okay. Just racking my brains to keep the party safe because
Yeah,
I am
no,
stressing
fair.
IRL.
Welcome to
That's
Levin's
fine.
World for the past entire travel.
Zarya wisened up and now has anxiety.
Poor Levin. Levin has been covering for the party's ass since day one.
Zarya will
Oh,
help.
good.
She wisened up.
So we've long rested, right?
You have long
Yes.
rested, yes.
Correct.
Oh, I don't have 69 hit points anymore.
It is the start of a new day, and you are all able to interact freely. Because I'm sure you guys have some stuff to say to each other now that we have the other parts of the party all together.
Yep. Ceres is at the moment busying herself with the disguise kits for the disguises for both herself and Melee. Do you want me to roll for that?
I'm gonna say yes, please. It's not how you see.
Okay. Okay, Melee's disguise is pretty good.
Yeah. I'm gonna say with the 20, you're able to disguise both of you.
Okay.
God damn.
This is kind of Ceres's thing. You weren't there for session 1 when she described
That
her
was not
philosophy.
funny.
It was.
Yes. Ceres is so devoted to the cause that she will smell like piss.
Yeah.
And
If she needs
Yes.
to look homeless, she can look homeless.
that's canon.
I feel like Zarya would like that. Just the commitment to the plan.
Ceres commits to lots of things. It's Zarya who has the problem.
Mm.
But yeah, so after about an hour of getting ready in the morning, Saris and Maylee both look like she would have told like, I am so sorry, but we have to cut your hair.
Give me a persuasion
long.
check.
It is long and glorious and incredibly noticeable. Where's my character sheet go?
Say with
I-
advantage because of what
I-
happened.
I'm actually considering disadvantage.
For real, girl.
She likes her hair.
Okay,
Yep.
we almost died for you.
Oh, okay.
At disadvantage
I
or not?
I'm gonna give you a choice: higher DC or disadvantage.
I'll take the higher DC.
Okay, go ahead and roll. You have to understand, she has a very fragmented memory at this point, and the spell that did restrain her memory has been relieved, so now she's getting flashes. That
But I
is
feel
enough
like
to
20
persuade her.
Yeah, what do you think?
No, hold on. How do you persuade her? What are you going to say? Because now this is important. You got the roll. But now,
Yeah,
what does your
she will-
character say?
at one point when she's setting up the disguise and she's kind of putting on the makeup on Melee, and she's like sort of like stroking her hair a little bit, it's like, this is lovely hair. But I think you know, and I know, that lovely hair draws the eye, and it makes you stand out. So how about we try something a little more subtle, playful, a bit of a change. You're turning over a new leaf in your life. How about we give...
Can we go more standoutish? Since I've always been plainish. Maybe we should go with a vibrant color.
I mean, we can, but you know what else stands... Well, the thing is, shorter hair gives you more options to stand out or blend in. Long hair really only goes one way, and that's down. But if we brought your hair maybe up to your chin, you could have it down. You could maybe style it a little bit in a playful way. You could get really crazy and style it up, just all pointing in one little direction. Top of your head, you could give it swoops and waves and curls. Give it bounce and life. When you turn your head, it will swirl like a little bit of a skirt. It'll just like flare out, and it'll just make your face very active. There's so much more you can do with short hair than you can do with long.
I will trust you.
Excellent. And then she will very quickly pull out a dagger and just shh.
You're gonna notice that her body does tense with each shink.
Yep.
She's
Yes.
not very content with this choice.
You're being hunted. And as let me assure you, I can relate. As she gestures to her own kind of shoulder-length hair, it wasn't always this short. But
You know. You go ahead.
it's like, remember, we thrive on flexibility and being able to shift and change as the time needs. And honestly, the hair isn't what makes you stand out. It just stands out. What you do makes you stand out if and when you want to.
So what you're saying is cutting my hair, and she's gonna like kind of stroke the non-existent hair, was irrelevant because I myself stand out?
No. I'm just saying this gives you options to be almost anyone you want. You can wear a wig for long hair, but you can't really hide. When it's already long, you can't hide it as well. And for practical reasons, as well as the versatility you now can enjoy. Trust me, when we get into town, I will show you some interesting things you can do with your hair that I think you're going to like. That will stand out and be quite daring.
I trust you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yep. And she's also gonna like, because of Saris's pallid like complexion and just sort of she's definitely given herself more of a rosier hue. Because I think for some people, Saris is probably like, she's unnaturally pale, and also she has jet white hair. So she's, she's dyed her hair kind of like a light auburn color, and she's given herself a little more of a blush to her skin tone. And she's pulled out some clothes, and she looks like a traveling merchant now. And she's given Mei Li a change of clothes that makes her look sort of similarly attired to Saris. And she'll look and the rest of you are the hired help that I have generously paid to escort us to Karna. Koth. Goddamn, what's the name of the capital?
Korth.
Korth, yeah. I have generously paid to escort us to Korth. Because you are highly capable defenders, last night notwithstanding.
I will say Zarya is feeling very antsy and suspicious. She will put on like a mask of whatever the medieval equivalent of a mask would be, and her cloak and the cloak that she puts on. So, just a little added layer.
What type of mask are you looking to put on?
It's not a bandana. Just like, I feel like there were...
Oh, we're in
it
the
would just be a
steampunk
bandana.
era. You have tons of choices. Like, what are you envisioning?
Oh! What is breathable, but also concealing?
Gas mask.
A veil.
Not a veil. I think
what
something
Levin has.
cloth.
A bandana?
Yeah, I don't want to go with a bandana specifically.
An ascot.
No.
Has to be
I don't
know.
poofy.
A scarf.
Can I just say a fabric cloth?
A scarf.
Yeah.
I mean, by definition, a fabric cloth. Scarf?
Yeah, I guess like one of those like a scarf she can like pull up to like her nose, and then just have like the cloak and hood over that. Yeah.
Zarya casually puts on a balaclava.
Is that what? Oh God, is that what I made?
No, a balaclava is the ski mask.
Oh,
Where two
anyway,
of them
yeah.
go double
Try-
balaclava. Sorry, bad joke.
Yeah, I think that's she'll do that. The scarf and cloak, just
Alrighty.
extra layer for her paranoia.
Paranoia.
Also, I feel like a hooded, masked, hulking creature is more
Mhm.
intimidating.
It's also more conspicuous.
Damn it!
Because if you're trying to be intimidating and look threatening, people will look at you because you look threatening and they don't want to see.
Well,
They
no,
want to watch
it's
you to make
more
sure you
like-
don't attack them.
Like, look at me, I'm scary, now look away.
People don't do that when something's scary because they want to know if it's going to attack
I'll
them.
glare at them.
They're still going
Look
to
and
watch
look
you to make
away.
sure you don't attack them. It's the reason people look at dogs when they growl because they want to see if the dog's going to charge.
Shush, let my stealthing work.
Okay? I'm just
Kidding.
letting you know.
No, I know, I'm kidding.
There is
So-
a way to make you look inconspicuous. I just need to think about it.
If you can figure it out, I love that.
On that note, about what time would you guys like to begin to leave?
Early morning,
Probably
maybe?
as soon as we could.
Yeah, that's more on Gearfried for having the Carpe Diem ready to go.
And he would have it ready as early as possible. So, probably, if not the first person to wake up, at least letting everyone know, like, hey, whoever wakes up first, wake me up. And then, upon waking up, you know, making sure everything's in check and then prepping everything for takeoff.
Is there anything we need to square away before we set out?
Not that I can think of. We have our direction.
Ready to
Also,
be on our way.
Gearfried is wearing his stealth getup right now, so he is not in any of his iconography.
Are you dressed like Owlman?
Yes.
Okay.
It's slightly modified, so it doesn't have any like emblems on it. The mask is still very much like the shape of sort of the owl, just kind of the way the mask looks, but it's a dread helmet. Blocks Gearfried's face from being seen when he wears it.
No, it's fine. I can work with this. I'll think of something to say should we be stopped. Yes, this is fine.
Fine.
Sounds-
Who's driving today?
What was that?
Who's driving today?
I figured I'd take up first shift. That you will take a load off, I guess.
I'll take space up front.
I'll stay back
He'll
here
pull
with
down-
Bailey.
He'll put the eyes of the eagle up and he'll watch forward, basically as an advance watch in case anything comes up in the distance that looks like it should be handled sooner rather than later.
All right. How about the rest of you? Would you be taking up a position or just riding along
mean,
casually?
Ceres is gonna, try and look relaxed, but she is going to be kind of watching the scenery as it goes by for basically she's gonna be looking around for any sign of ambush.
Go ahead. Anybody who's being vigilant, go ahead and give me a perception check.
I can do persuasion. That's almost better. for
No,
that.
no. Perception. Sorry. I like that too.
Jeffrey, watch the hole. Watch there's a tree. Jeffrey, tree.
I'm Gearfried is he's got that what's it called, highway blind or highway hypnotism or whatever. He's kind of like
Oh, yeah.
zoned out while he's driving. I've got it. I see where I'm going.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And
He's got like
there's a
one
rock.
hand, his one fist on his cheek, the other on the wheel. Just boredly driving.
With the 26 and with the 27, you do notice that it seems like the road or the path ahead is relatively clear. And there are no real vantage points to be ambushed.
Good.
As you continue to grow closer to Korth, you notice that the presence of the undead seem to lessen.
So as we're
Right.
driving through, are we seeing like zombies shambling about the wasteland or whatever?
You see a couple. You see some of the Carnathi undead who are walking military patrols around the border. But specifically, you notice that as you grow closer to the city, you notice that the guards seem to be taking on more patrol points rather than meandering through as a border guard.
Are the guards any particular species?
You would see not random, but you would see a combination of dwarvish, human, elvish. You would see a couple of kobolds. You would see some that were rather rare, like a sorry, I'm drawing a blank here.
And Goliath.
But you would see mostly those races that I mentioned.
Alright.
Are these the city guards or zombies?
Well, you're not in the city proper yet, but yes.
Okay.
The border guards are definitely zombies.
Karnath employ the undead to supplement their armies.
Hey, listen. They're the best workers to have. They're not unionized.
They're not afraid to die in a fight.
No, they are not.
Though conscription's kind of a bitch.
Necessary evil. But you are continuing to head on. You are still about a day and a half away from Korth proper. Is there anything you guys would like to do throughout the journey before you set up camp?
Ceres wants to do something when they get to camp, but not necessarily right now. No.
Okay. Is there anything you guys would like, anybody else would like to do before you get to camp while you're driving? The day itself
No,
is
it's,
relatively uneventful.
Levin would be of a mindset of once we're settling down to make camp, he'd be pretty much jumping off the Carpe Diem to go on patrol.
Noted. With that, the full day's travel will continue on. And as said, you will be able to arrive at the... Whoop, wrong button. You will be able to arrive at the city proper within the next day. By the next day, excuse me. There we go. There we go. With that, as we begin to set up camp, I apologize, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Hey there, adventurers! While we take a quick break, let's talk about the epic journeys happening right here on Players of the Realms. Dive into the thrilling world of Dawn of the New Era, where the Dapper Dans navigate a realm of intrigue and danger. Or join the Sun-Veiled Pirates as they chart their course in Legend of the Grand Line. And don't miss our playtest campaign, Allegesia, Birth of the New Riders, where Dragon Riders rise and legends are forged. Love what you're hearing? You can catch all our audio adventures on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music and Spotify. And if you want to show some extra love, check out our merch. We've got awesome designs waiting for you on our website and Etsy store. Every bit of support helps us keep the dice rolling, the stories flowing, and the adventures coming your way. Thanks for being part of the journey. Hey there, adventurers! While we take a quick break, let's talk about the epic journeys happening right here on Players of the Realms. Dive into the thrilling world of Dawn of the New Era, where the Dapper Dans navigate a realm of intrigue and danger. Or join the Sun-Veiled Pirates as they chart their course in Legend of the Grand Line. And don't miss our playtest campaign, Allegezia, Birth of the New Riders, where Dragon Riders rise and legends are forged. Love what you're hearing? You can catch all our audio adventures on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music and Spotify. And if you want to show some extra love, check out our merch. We've got awesome designs waiting for you on our website and Etsy store. Every bit of support helps us keep the dice rolling, the stories flowing, and the adventures coming your way. Thanks for being part of the journey. Hey there, adventurers! While we take a quick break, let's talk about the epic journeys happening right here on Players of the Realms. Dive into the thrilling world of Dawn of the New Era, where the Dapper Dans navigate a realm of intrigue and danger. Or join the Sun-Veiled Pirates as they chart their course in Legend of the Grand Line. And don't miss our playtest campaign, Allegezia, Birth of the New Riders, where Dragon Riders rise and legends are forged. Love what you're hearing? You can catch all our audio adventures on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music and Spotify. And if you want to show some extra love, check out our merch. We've got awesome designs waiting for you on our website and Etsy store. Every bit of support helps us keep the dice rolling, the stories flowing, and the adventures coming your way. Thanks for being part of the journey.
Alrighty, we are back, and players, you are now about day away from capital Korath. You have set up camp, or you were in the process of setting up camp. Mei is anybody paying attention to any of Mei's actions?
Yes.
You would notice that absent-mindedly, and I'm not going to ask for a check on this one. This one is relatively obvious. Throughout the trip of the day, you notice that her hands are kind of weaving through her hair, and each time it comes up shallow, she seems to grow in discomfort.
There's Wolf is kind of like, sorry about the hair. We weren't being actively tracked and hunted. I wouldn't have done it.
I'll get used to it, I suppose.
You do, and also it will grow back. It's hair.
I
It can't just
understand
be a
that,
temporary thing.
but change is not necessarily easy, even if you know that it'll grow back.
It's true, but this is possibly a good moment to learn how to deal with change sometimes, especially if it's change you don't like. Because often, change is change you don't like.
It is.
I'm sorry I have to be the one to sort of visit that upon you.
It does happen.
It does. How are you feeling though? Giffy kind of dropped the ball, left you vulnerable out there alone, and unprotected. You okay?
To be honest, I was scared.
No, that's understandable. We're like at camp now. We're not in transit anymore, right?
No, you're in camp now.
Okay. Also, not to take away from this, I just need you to do me a favor, real quick. If we can just move a little bit away from the party, not necessarily out of sight of the group, but just far enough away that like they won't necessarily see what Ceres is about to do. I need you to do me a favor. I've shown you my dragon mark once, and you remember it, right?
I do.
Yeah, not necessarily like exactly be able to draw, but you remember vaguely what it looks like. Can you tell me if it's different? Because it feels different. And Ceres is just kind of like lift the back of her shirt to like expose where her dragon mark is.
Would there, or should there, be a noticeable change?
Given the way they work, as they get stronger, they get bigger.
You would hear a gasp coming from
Oh.
her.
Okay. She just immediately like, jerks the shirt down. I'm sorry, that didn't mean to. Is what
No.
I'm-
It's grown.
Okay. How much? Could you sort
And-
of just
She's gonna show you with fingers about an inch.
can you like poke where the edges are roughly? Just just poke around the edges of it on my back so I can.
She will begin to trace around the edges.
Oh. That bollocks. Okay. No, this is fine. It's probably because I'm relying on it more now. Okay. I think grandmother said something like this would happen. Stupid old bitch. Okay,
Okay.
thank you. That's all. But see, change happens to all of us that none of us like. This is life, I suppose.
With that, would you go back to the group, or would you remain?
Yeah, but no, she's like, so thank you. This is all. I just needed to follow up on that. And she's like very aggressively tucking in the back of her shirt to conceal the mark again. But yeah, no, we'll get over this. We'll go to Karnath. We'll find Uncle Ram, and we will get back. And we'll maybe find a place for you to live out a comfortable life, and grow out your hair. Maybe even dance in the sun.
I wish I was able to dance, but I don't dance.
Apparently, the people in my family are all sort of innately good at dancing. Some of us much better than others, but we all sort of have a knack for it.
I wish I did.
I can teach you later.
That would be
I mean,
nice.
Yeah, no, it's as much certainly people can learn it. I've seen a lot of people over the years take it up as for one reason or another, and some of them are not very good at the start. But practice makes anything possible.
That is true. While this is
Yeah.
going on, what would the rest of you be doing?
As soon as the Carpe Diem stopped, Levin pretty much just immediately jumped off. Alright, if anyone doesn't need me for 2 hours, I'm going to go scout.
Fair enough.
You have the whistles, right? And he's looking towards Melee when he says this.
Yes.
Alright. And Levin literally just books.
And off
Alright.
he goes.
Go
Anyone
ahead.
want to play Liar's Dice? That's just Gearfried's. For the remainder of the time, Gearfried's just gonna like teach Levin the rules, or Fennec the rules of Liar's Dice.
Alrighty. Noted. While that's going on, Levin, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Alright. Mask is up, hood is up. So let's see what he finds. Oof, bad rolls on both.
You were able to only find a couple of straggling Carnathian dead. You notice that their armor is well kept, despite their decomposing frame. You notice that they seem to be well prepared for battle.
As part of his scouting, he's going to be looking and seeing if they've maintained a steady path for their patrol, and if it intersects close enough to camp to be heard.
Okay, with your current perception, that would be hard to discern. But for whether or not they're currently without a path, it almost looks as somebody who's lost and trying to regroup with somebody else.
Alright, Levin will maintain with this group for another 10-15 minutes, and if they don't meet up with anyone, he'll divert and continue sweeping the area around where they camped.
As you follow within 10-15 minutes, you notice that they do end up rejoining a battalion of 15.
Levin makes note of their number and composition, and then moves away from the group.
Noted. This would take about anywhere between an hour to 2 hours. While that's going on, those of you who are at the now button-in camp, what would you like to do?
I think Saris is sort of just taking charge to arrange the camp in such a way that it's in like a better defensive, or like she's kind of sort of put Melee's sleeping roll in the middle, and everyone else's tent is sort of our sleeping roll is like arranged around hers.
Noted.
But she's just sort of, yep, no, just being extra cautious after the previous failure.
Gearfried, do you pick up that jab?
Gearfried would, depending on, I assume, how far away they are when they say it, Gearfried's teaching Fennec the rules of Liar's Dice.
Saris, would you be saying it loud enough for Gearfried to hear?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
But she would also she would glance in sort of Gearfried's and Azaria's direction.
Noted.
I heard my name. I zoned out for a second. What happened?
Nothing happened.
Absolutely nothing.
Oh, something happened.
No. Why would you think that?
Why would you think that? That's nothing happened. You did absolutely nothing. It's fine.
Sorry. Just made me laugh for some reason. So, Medley is going to be on alert. She's going to be looking around. Over the course of the next 2 hours, Levin, would you immediately join the party, or would you be doing any sorts of other stuff?
After the initial find, he would make his way back to the group to report on the progress and to see the state of the camp, because he'd want to know like what the watch scheduling is at this point.
Okay, so as you regroup with the party, what would you all like to do for watch?
Saris will take first and second watch.
I can take a watch.
Alright, so I have Saris's first and second watch. Zarya, would you like to take a watch with Saris, or would you want to do a third watch?
Will someone else do a third watch?
I'll take up third watch.
No, Zaria will do third watch. So Levin needs sleep.
I've had sleep, Zarya.
Okay, nice.
Anyway, I've detected 2 squads of Karnathi soldiers. Possible that they're meeting up with a platoon roughly an hour and a half. And he bobs his head in the direction that he spotted them in.
Do we need to be concerned?
Could
Not
be
necessarily.
could be troop movement, but they don't have scouts that I've seen.
I will do a little something to aid the concealment of our camp.
Alright.
If it's a pair of squads, chances of there being a sergeant or a lieutenant are those odds exist, so they would be directed.
Fair enough. Saris is gonna before she sits watch, gonna take a little bit of a look around the area just to get a sense of like what the terrain is like. And she's gonna like very subtly just sort of when she gets back to camp, take 10 minutes and cast hallucinatory terrain over the camp so that our camp kind of appears like it's a thick copse of trees. And the beauty of it is we'll all know it's an illusion, so we'll be able to see through it. Because you're watching her cast it. And then she's going to make the surrounding terrain more or less what it is. She's just going to put that little a feature around our camp so that it's At first glance, the first thing you see isn't a camp. It's this like dense copse of trees.
Gotcha. So you're covering your campsite with ultimately woods.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Or whatever, like, but she's making a point of making it match the local flora and fauna, so it doesn't look out of place necessarily. It just looks like this growth of trees that are native to the area.
Noted.
This is new.
Is it?
The ability for you for illusions, no, the scale of them is new.
I mean, I just haven't shown it off.
You've had
But now-
opportunities.
They didn't seem as dire. But then our camp was invaded by a crazy vampire. So, seems like it's now
Yes,
the
I've
time
heard.
to make things harder. So, now is the time to make things harder. For people outside of the group.
This would work fairly well against the intelligent troops, but I'm assuming mindless ones would still bump into things.
Perhaps, but if they're being directed, it stands to reason. They might be
No.
directed away
You're
from
correct.
this, at least.
I did also spot a couple of errants. They met up with the troops and, fell in line.
Well, I guess we'll play it by ear. Anyhow, I will take first and second watch. Rest up.
Alright. And Levin will take advantage of that, offering for watch, so he'll start his rest during the first.
Alrighty. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
I assume you mean Ceres.
Whoever's on first watch, 100%. Because I know
Yeah.
Saris, in case anybody else wants to stay up with her.
I'm on second watch with her.
With a 16, off in the distance, you do hear the passing sound
16.
of a...
I rolled a
Oh,
25.
sorry. I didn't scroll down. Whoops. My bad.
Oh no!
With a 25, you definitely hear the sounds of a steady cadence off in the distance as the troop that Levin had mentioned continues to march through the land, almost as if doing a border patrol within the mile of where your campsite currently is.
Mm-hmm. She'll sort of note that and keep track of it, but she doesn't want to distract her from potential other threats that may come around. So unless they're getting significantly closer, she'll let them sort of march out into the dark. But she's also very much focused on anything else that might somehow think that's a distraction. She's very paranoid right now.
Alrighty. At that point, you are going to see that Melee is meditating, and you do notice that she is twitching as she's doing so.
I do think I would take this opportunity to slit Fennec's throat while he slept.
I mean,
No, not really.
you could certainly try, but that has to wait until next session.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. Seriously thinking about it though.
No, he's okay.
It's just what's happening there.
We're watching him. It was Mei Lee who was twitching, though.
Yeah, it is. It
Uh-huh.
is.
Yeah,
I was also watching that.
That's okay. That has nothing to do with her desire.
Yeah. The threat the Fennec poses is something different.
It's because he wants the hug. I get you. I get it.
He's gone about it in a really poor way. Put it that way. But yeah, so she'll kind of watch Melee. If it looks like it's getting intensely unpleasant, she would wake Melee up. But for the most part, she's just letting her rest.
It maintains a consistent pace as if somebody who is going through a sort of like you're not able to gauge specifically what she's doing, but you can kind of guess the reactions that she might be having. It's nothing that becomes severe or detrimental to her, but it is noticing, like, for instance, there are moments where she will just lean to the left, and then you'll see, like, a couple of twitches in the fingers and the neck.
Yeah. I mean, in Ceres's mind, she's probably just assuming she's dreaming about running from something. But yeah, she'll just sort of look at her knowingly, whether right or wrong, and just like shake her head slightly. But yeah, that's what she'll do on first shift.
Other than that, knowing the possible threat, your watch is relatively uneventful.
Yep. She will not wake up Zarya for the second watch.
Okay.
Oh, for real?
She will let Zarya sleep through the watch.
So
well, that is actually a wonderful thing, because I was just thinking Zarya might have some nightmares tonight and wake up anyway.
So we'll leave it to you to take it away then. So you are continuing to sleep longer than you anticipated to sleep due to the non-waking up of Ceres. What is going through your head? Because, Zarya, you yourself have been going through an interesting chain of events lately, particularly starting from the moment you realize you are living a life forced of sobriety.
Yeah, and I think part of the drinking was a little bit to get away from these dreams, and I think she's having them. It's just kind of the same flavor of dream over and over, at just varying degrees of how bad it is every night. And tonight's kind of bad. It's just she's seeing her and just saying over and over, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, and not being able to see her face. And just trying to run and catch her and apologize and unable to.
Would you be mumbling, or would you be articulating anything out loud while you sleep? Do you talk while you sleep?
I think she like mumbles and tosses and turns more than anything, and is just mumbling out, sorry, I'm sorry, come back, stuff like that, like a little gibberish, a little bit that kind of strings together into words. And I think it's one of those moments where she trips in the dream and she falls and just jolts awake, like you do when you fall in a dream and you feel like you're falling in real life.
So with that, I'm going to say you wake up within about 10-15 minutes into the next watch.
Ceres is sort of like dead-eyed watching you. Oh, you're awake.
Were you watching me that whole time, just sleeping?
No, I was just making sure you was safe while you slept, occasionally glancing. But no, I'm not distracted by that.
Right. Is it time for? I'm gonna start the watch now. I'm
You don't have to. You can go back to sleep. It's all right.
no, I. Not a great dream.
Hmm. Guilt. Weird.
And she looks like shaken and kind of like sweaty a little bit. It's one of those like dreams where you just get hot and panicked. And just she'll come to sit by the fire, still shaken a bit, but clearly not ready to go back to sleep.
Cyrus just watches. And then doesn't say anything and goes back to staring out and watching the darkness.
Alrighty. So those of you on second watch, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Oh,
I'll say a
right.
disadvantage because, yeah, she's never the best actor.
I will not argue with the self-imposed disadvantage.
Oh look, we gotta do the story roles. I am all
Hey,
about
listen,
the role play,
I
baby. And that is
told you.
unfortunate.
I am
Damn,
not.
either of those would have been bad.
I am not arguing. You did it. I didn't have to. I like it. With that,
Cyrus had it covered.
Saris, you
God,
notice that
Either of them would have been great.
there is a second group following along with the first group, but they are veering off more towards the north. So they are moving further away. You have the other group that has continued, as you hear, to maintain that perimeter that they've been sweeping.
Mm-hmm.
So you are hearing actually a lot of movement of Karnathi undead.
Sound like more than the 15 Levin mentioned before.
Well, keep in mind, the 15 he mentioned before was at least 4 hours ago.
Right, but his report was there was like a group of 15 Karnathi on patrol. And this is the second patrol going by.
It is moving
Between
more
the two of them.
northbound, though.
Yeah, but between
Different.
the two groups, I guess you're basically saying yes, it is more than 15.
It is more than
Um,
15, but his information is earlier and limited.
Yeah, Ceres is just kind of making a note of that. It's like, that's strange.
Do you say that?
Yeah, just kind of mutters it under her breath.
What?
Oh, nothing. You should relax. Don't stress
I mean,
yourself.
the point of the watch is to not relax.
True. But I don't want
Yeah.
to just distract you from anything. You just
Honestly,
seem...
I need a distraction, okay? Because I don't have the fucking drink in them.
Well, if I thought you were any good at focus, I would give you something to do. But... seems like you and Geofried are just... it's alright.
What about me and Geofried? What?
Just... no... it's fine. I'm just going to keep a watch over here, and she'll kind of just move over like a few feet, sit down, and stare into the darkness.
Zari quietly wonders if she did something to offend Sarah. What the fuck?
Did she do something? Did I do something wrong? I'm in the doghouse all of a sudden.
Are you asking her?
No. God, no. Emotional vulnerability from this woman? No.
Indeed. But yeah, after the second watch is over, she'll kind of go up and she kind of knows better than to approach Levin at this point. And she's just gonna take a couple pebbles and little rocks and throw them at Levin. It's like, hey, don't
Yes?
fight me. It's life. You'll watch.
I would appreciate it if there were fewer rocks.
The small. And I'm sorry, but you wake up Stabby.
What is it, Saris?
Right. You'll watch. Also, more troops headed north. And it sounds like more than the 15 you mentioned.
I did say that they were potentially meeting up with others.
I don't think it's potential anymore.
Is anyone else on third watch?
Does it matter? None of them are
Yes,
good at
because
it.
I may need to scout again.
I think Zari's like in the process of going back to bed. And she's like, I can stay up another watch, I guess.
No,
You
no,
look-
it's alright. You
You look
go
haggard,
back.
Zarya. What happened?
Nightmare, I'm fine. I got my sleep. I can go to bed.
Hold on. And Levin's going to approach Zarya. A moment, if you would. Just here, look. And he's going to direct Zarya to look towards him.
Mm.
And he's just basically assessing her current level of awake.
Awake and not wanting to go back to sleep.
That's what I figured. He's more of like he's looking for like he's trying to get a read on your body language.
Very much does not want to go back to sleep.
Bear in mind.
I
if you
think
don't
she's a
get-
little bit more.
I
Oh,
was
go
saying,
ahead.
bear in mind, mechanically, if you don't get 6 hours of sleep, you take a level of exhaustion.
But if you stay up all night, you're fucked. Also, how long are watches?
Watches typically last
Gear-free-
2 hours.
Gearfried shoots up from the Carpe Diem where he is currently sleeping in the back sleep, and he says, "Well, if you're all going to continue being allowed, I suppose I'll take the next watch.
Well, I guess
Muff
Thank you.
anyway."
Thank you, Gearfried. We weren't being particularly loud. Were we disturbing you?
Well, speaking close, and like I'm a light sleeper, all right. Or at least I've been trying to be so ever since we were beset upon by bloodsuckers in the night.
Indeed.
Gearfried's just gonna stretch as he gets out of the cart. Besides, I haven't done it yet tonight. I figure I might as well.
All right.
Fine.
Kind of disappointed. Looks disappointed.
Zarya,
Hmm.
you don't have to go to sleep, but you should continue to rest.
Yeah.
You know, Zarya,
Some of that
I
cute-
find that keeping your mind on something stimulating is often a way to not necessarily get back to sleep, but at least not think about whatever it is that was troubling you and preventing you from sleeping in the first place.
Very uncomfortable with everyone talking about it now. She's a
Ah.
monk. Does meditate, can she just like meditate as a rest?
I don't.
Flavor wise? I think.
Mm.
A long
Meditation
rest
doesn't
typically
actually replace sleep.
A long rest, mechanically speaking, only requires 6 hours of basically light or inactivity. You could do things
Well-
like reading or
Meditation.
meditating.
You do need 6 hours of sleep.
I feel
If
like
you're
she'd
not an
start
elf.
I figure she'd start meditating and then just like kind of drift into sleep. But that weird kind of like she's sitting and sleeping.
You're not
Yeah,
meditating, you're napping. I know the difference.
Meditation
That
often
man
leads
is
to
playing
sleep.
Galaga.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah. Sarah's just sort of shrug and go back to her bedroll and kind of glance at Gearfried like she's assessing his worthiness to like keep watch for a moment, and then she'll sort of just shrug and go back to sleep or start her trance.
Fine. Gearfried, if you're going to maintain watch here, I'm going to go and reassess those movements.
Alright. Sounds good.
I'm hoping it's boring.
Well. It's Karnath. It's never boring, it's often just scary.
Ceres, before you turn in, which direction?
She'll point. They were heading north. That way.
Thank you. I'll be back within the hour.
Don't die.
Thank you for your vote of confidence. And Levin will move away from the group.
Alright. As you're going, go ahead and give me a stealth check to start off.
Yep.
Alright. With a 26, you're able to move stealthily. And as you do, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Alright. So glad I have these items. They help.
Right?
They smooth out my shit rolls.
One of the first things you notice is that as you're moving and doing your patrol, the first unit of 15 you see up ahead heading west. Fanning out a little bit more, you are able to identify the group of 20 that is heading more north. About how much time are you going to be devoting spying on these locations?
Levin's going to get a good distance away because he's going to cast. And he does not want them to hear it.
Alright, what would you like to cast?
Pass without trace. I want to get close.
Alrighty. You are able to cast without trace. And go ahead and give me a stealth check.
Alrighty. There we go. And oh, all right. Add 10 to that. I forgot to throw it in.
Yep. That is certainly a good roll. So 36. As you make your way closer, which way were you heading? The group heading northbound or the group heading west?
West would take them towards the river. North would take them closer to Korth, correct?
Yes.
He's going to follow the Korth group.
Alright. You were seeing that about how long would you follow them?
He did make a promise to return within the hour, and one of the main reasons Levin wants to get close is he wants specific identifiers. He wants to see if they're wearing any symbols or if there are any insignias on any of the troops. He wants to see if there's anyone leading this group or if they've just been given orders.
Alright, so go ahead and give me a perception check as you get
Yep.
closer.
Yeah, this is definitely in the realm of dangerous.
With a 28, you aren't able to notice anything distinguishing. It does look like they are following a pattern or a set route as if they are following orders. You also notice that they are not observant. Specifically meaning, despite the intelligence that you would be able to infer that Carnathi undead do have, they are not paying attention specifically to their surroundings as if they are commanded to follow these orders.
Mechanical patrol. Possibly treading the roads and maintaining an active presence, but well, this isn't going to get me any new information. No. Alright, better head back. And Levin will turn around and make his way back to camp.
Gearfried, I believe you are on the third watch, yes?
That is correct.
What would you be doing during this time?
Gearfried would probably be keeping it simple, especially given the last couple of days. He would be probably a little bit more paranoid of undead and potentially weary of anything that looks like it may even be a... Because I imagine there are like undead wandering around within like eyeline. He's kind of looking for more patterned movements, like, undead that have been given direction and aren't just shambling about.
Yep. Specifically, I'm sure anything that's moving directly towards the group.
Yeah.
If you haven't done so already, go ahead and give me a perception check. You aren't able to distinguish anything specifically heading towards the party, but you two were able to, because it was pointed out, and I'm sure it was, that there have been active movements of these undead. You do hear the patrol that has been circling around, not necessarily your given location, but the general area, heading more towards now Loren Wrath.
Gearfried will make a note of that. Remind himself to bring it up to 11 when he sees him again. And Gearfried's not going to do anything that would otherwise jeopardize the group. He's playing it safe tonight. So he's just like watching that, making note of what time that he happens to see that, the direction they're going, and if they're making a loop, how often or how long it takes for them to make a full circuit.
Now, mind you, it's not necessarily through sight. You are hearing the stamping that's giving you the general sense of direction, unless you are actively going to go to look for a visual.
I see. Then Gearfried would just make note of when they sound close.
After about an hour, Levin would enter the campsite again, and you would now be reunited.
Alright, Gearfried, update. The groups that I followed.
You're updating me, sorry.
The groups that I followed don't seem to have any officers with them, and they seem to be specifically mechanical patrols.
That matches up with about what I heard. Didn't sound like a random series of shambling undead, but more like a group that was all headed in a uniform direction.
Typically, these types of patrols are either made for maintaining an active presence in an area, or they're to maintain roads by trotting them down. Considering the time that this is happening, I'm leaning towards the former.
I feel like I agree with that.
Well, they're not being directed to search.
Which means that we might be being a little bit too cautious, but I'd take overcautious as opposed to caught with our pants down.
Given our proximity and the number of patrols, lack of caution would be, well,
Ill-advised.
how did your rest go?
Went all right. I've been sleeping a little bit rough recently. Thinking about how getting into this sort of business might not have been very wise with the whole armor motif. I know, you can't, and the rest of the group can't speak Dwarvish, but the emblems on my shoulder pads, it's kind of a tradition. You bear the mark of your family, and if you're a student, you bear the mark of your mentor until you graduate, in which case you can remove that mark again. On my, and they're not here anymore, but my left pad was my master's mark, right pad was the family's mark. I'm worried. I don't know if King Caius had the ability to speak Dwarvish or read it, but there's a chance that he might have caught a glimpse of the emblem. So, been thinking I might need to reach out to my parents if we land in the city soon.
Question. Your emblem, it has Dwarvish script on it, or just the emblem?
The emblem. It's more of a house sigil, if you will.
Oh. At the very least, it would take some time for someone to look into it. They'd have to more or less accurately describe it.
Well,
How long did you say you were interacting with that individual that claimed was Kai's?
not for very long. I'd be shocked if he actually got a glimpse of it, given how far away I was at times. But if there's a chance he might have, seen part of it, which is why I think it's a little bit.
Did he have a chance to see it up close?
DM, didn't I hit him in the face at one point?
You did?
There's a chance. I did get physical with him.
All right. No.
Either way,
We'll have to,
it's,
we'll
probably
have to
best
act
that-
going forward as though he knows exactly what you have on you.
All right.
Do you have a way of messaging your family?
DM, are there methods by which I could message, or without having the spell? I know there were like phone booths of some kind in Rote, but is there a in Korth? Is there like some kind of
DM, let me cut in just a little.
Yep.
The dragon marked houses usually have a presence in all of the nations. You could probably find a messaging house.
Yeah, then figure I'll probably stop at the next messaging house over in Korth.
Sorry, DM, if
Yeah,
you have
actually-
anything to add, please.
No, other than
Yeah,
unless you have the messaging spell, the message spell, you'd be able to send a message. But yep, other than that, they're the Dragmark houses.
Well, I can probably get a message over to the Spires. They're not too far from here.
Gearfried does love those labor monopolies.
He's going to perpetuate part of the system. How dare he? He's a traitor to the cause.
Well, people have lines that they're willing to cross for things. But look at you, Gearfried, potentially hiring scabs.
Look, family comes first. If someone's threatening my brothers, I'm going to sacrifice some of my morals in order to save them.
Well, at least you're a little more clear-headed about it. Any updates with Fennec?
He's been talking to himself a little bit more often than not, but I think it's just because he misses Yami.
He's moved from hazard to risk. Great.
Want me to keep a closer eye on him?
No. He's at least willing to talk in his own way about such things. He's kind of honest that way.
I suppose so.
Whenever he has his own things to figure out. Just keep yourself safe around him, but I guess initially it was important in the beginning. It's less important now. Given our current state.
You're just going to silently nod and then just kind of cast his gaze over to where Fennec is. What's Fennec up to?
Currently, Fennec is resting. He is maintaining the usual murmurs and twitches he might normally do. But other than that, he seems in control of himself.
Earfried, is that already? Hold on, I need to check if I have this prepared. I think I do. Oh, do I not? Tech magic is 2nd level, right?
I believe so.
I do not have it prepared, damn it. Okay. Gearfried is just going to... He's just gonna saunter on over to where Fennec is while he's, like, napping. He's going to just give him the old, like, once-over, like, lean over, see if he looks like he's actually asleep, or if he's faking, or if he seems, like, in any way not himself.
I'm going to say, if you would so choose, go ahead and give me an insight check. But, other than that, he does look like he's sleeping.
Alright.
You
So
notice
22.
you notice that there's a faint murmuring as he sleeps, and he seems to be tossing a little bit. But there's nothing that's directly expressing anything of him being awake, more so that he is restless while sleeping.
Gearfried's going to then back up and go back to continuing his watch.
Alright. The remainder of the watch is going to go uneventful. Nothing specifically approaches your camp, particularly because of the protection that has been put up. Anything that would have been coming close would have had to accidentally wander through, which did not happen through the case of this watch. With that, it is now the start of the next day, and you are all able to wake up, nice, and begin to proceed when ready.
So,
Is there anything you guys would like to do once you're all awake?
Ceres will reset the disguises.
Levin would have taken a little time out of the morning routine. He would have found some sort of rotting log or something to just do some target practice with over the course of like 20 minutes, half hour.
Alrighty. Go ahead and just give me an attack roll. It's going to be covering the duration of your practice. You notice your aim is not as sharp as it normally is throughout this practice. You still hit the target every single time within the bullseye range, but you're not able to perform at your normal best.
As a means of self-assessment, Lemon is just gonna comment to himself, damn it. Have to do my meditations again then. We'll see if I have time today. And he'll
If you
gather up
want,
the
like-
bolts that he's used.
Alright, you are able
want,
to
like,
reclaim
help
all
it.
of them.
Sorry, what's
go
that,
ahead,
Zari?
Bree.
Sorry. If you want, I can help you with meditation. Give you tips.
Different sort of meditation. This would be something a little more spiritual rather than introspective.
Little bit of both can help. I'll take any
consider
tips
it,
you
but
have.
it's this is more of a specific type of meditation.
Da.
I remember asking you about that before, though.
I didn't know you back then. Didn't care to answer.
Fair, but I didn't ask you specifics. I only asked if you had them.
It's... What do you want to know?
The same question as before. Do you have meditative practices that help with whatever training or upbringing you had towards your martial prowess?
I still do some of the meditation to help get better at this. I meditate less. Well, I did meditate less. But now that I can't drink, might as well.
It would probably do you some good to recenter.
Depends on who you ask.
I'm asking you.
I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get into it right now.
That's fine. I won't press.
Thanks.
That's it. And Levin's gonna just kind of lean to go look at the rest of the group. What's your take on things with the rest of them?
We're fucked. We're straight up fucked.
I wouldn't use those particular words, but I agree.
We have the supposed real ruler, who's an undead vampire, who knows all of our faces after us.
Right, you told me you encountered him.
Okay, you're fine. The rest of us are fucked. But I think he was watching us before, and you were definitely visible before. So we are all fucked.
The question I have in my mind is if he was able to happen upon our camp suddenly, and he was able to get within arm's reach of his target, why didn't he take her?
He's fucking with us. Playing with us.
There's no need.
He likes it.
Again, there's no need.
Doesn't matter. If you want it, if you want to fuck with someone mentally, just for the shits and giggles, can. There's no need to do it. There's no need for me to drink, but I drank. I can't say that 100% that's why he did what he did. Part of me thinks he was fucking with us. There's something definitely going on, especially with her, that we don't know all about yet. It kind of nods at Melee. We need to figure that out.
I'm of the opinion that he didn't take her because he's waiting for something.
Seems like she's involved somehow. She just doesn't know it.
Well, she's been going through changes recently. We should probably inquire about that.
She doesn't know anything, I don't think.
She knows how she feels. She knows what she sees. We don't have to ask her about her memories.
Mm. Yeah. I still will we just fucking leave Karnav and just, I mean, that's my fault. But, yeah.
Well, even if we were to turn around now, we would still be several days out from being able to leave.
Yeah. Of course, being on the borders is not the same as being in the fucking capital city. Fuck, we are full so fuck. Ah.
Something is telling me that what they're doing isn't exactly a public thing.
True. Of course, with these people, it's not even the concern of we're going to be publicly arrested. It's that they snuck up on us. They're fucking with us, batting us around like a cat playing with a mouse. And I like dealing with my enemies head on. I don't like being batted around.
I'm aware we did spar.
Yeah. You get that.
Let me leave you to it.
Fucking politics.
I'm not a fan either, but let's just leave it at that for now. And Levin's gonna go check on the rest of the group.
What would Ceres and Gearfried be doing during this time?
I mean, like I said, Ceres is finishing up retouching the disguise and getting it back in place.
How about for you, Gearfried?
Gearfried would probably still be. This is for later, but Gearfried, if not, watching or doing anything prescient, would be going at this like ornate-looking clockwork box. It kind of looks like a music box, but he'd be gauging certain measurements and like screwing pieces on and he looks really intense in how he's approaching this. He's also like taking a moment to infuse magic into it at certain points. But beyond that, he's not doing anything really important.
Alrighty. You would all be awake. You would be having your discussions, but what time would you start making your way forward? Would all these events be happening while you're driving?
I imagine we get underway like 9:30, 10-ish.
Alrighty.
Yeah, after a couple of hours of light, yeah.
Day itself, who's driving today?
Well, per her disguise, she's not one to drive, so Ceres will
You're free,
abstain from any driving.
Yes, Trans Gearfried. Reclaim your vehicle.
Kick her off.
You'll still never drive as good as she does.
Oh,
Gearfried is actually.
I'm giving inspiration for that
Gearfried,
one.
Gearfried, I'll have you know, actually now has proficiency with land vehicles.
Nice. Ceres
Good.
doesn't. She still rolls high.
Oh, that's great. Nah, 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 nah.
There's believes she has proficiency with land vehicles.
Nope.
You'll notice as
She's
you
just
notice
lucky.
as you notice Gearfried's driving has been improving. You will at a certain point, or you may have already noticed, there is a tome in the left side or the driver's side door of the vehicle. It's a bound black and yellow tome with a caricature of a dwarf on the front that's all white.
Oh
And
no.
it has dwarvish script written on it, so you can't understand what it says. But it's got some.
Does
to
it
do with
have
how
like?
Gearfried's-
Does it have like little like childlike drawings of like dwarves and carriages on the cover?
Yes.
No. Well, I mean, what I had in mind. I'm gonna post it into the chat when I.
Okay, go
Driving
ahead.
for dummies.
Yeah. It's the for dummies.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that, but it's like a dwarf.
Like the top third has a black bar with yellow text in it. Part of it looks
exactly.
like it's scrawled.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've seen these books. I don't know if Saris has though.
It just looks like a kind of a dwarf pointing up to the words, and you just see like the top. You just see the dwarven script right on top of it.
No, with a 2, she's never seen this book before. It's a curiosity to her, but she doesn't understand its significance.
Oh, this is great. I'm giving another inspiration. I love it.
But yeah, Gearfried will just be driving, and as he's driving, he's gonna say, "All right, so we should probably get this squared away at this point. If we're trying to be incognito, should we go by aliases? I know Saris likes to use the same 3, so should we just, pick something so we're not
Dude,
calling each other by the wrong names?"
I don't use the same 3. You may address me as Melrin Sun Rana.
Right? Zarya, pick an alias. Something easy to remember, something you're not gonna get wrong.
Anya.
All right. I'll go with Fabian.
Considering my
Literally
guise
just
is
thought
going
of-
to be that of I'm under burn for mercenary work, just use my last name.
All right. Faline it is.
Falayan, but yes.
Faline.
Lagan.
All right, group.
F-A-L-A-E-N.
Dwarvish is my first. Dwarvish is my first language.
Faline.
Elvish is difficult to pronounce.
You're one of the bodyguards I hired.
I'm sorry, care to repeat that?
I think she said you're one of the bodyguards she's hired.
I'll get back to you on that.
The trip itself
Let's
is
get in the
relatively
city first.
The trip itself is relatively uneventful as the course of the day passes on. Off in the distance, as you look on, you would be able to see the formations of the various troops of Karnath the Undead mobilizing. I'd like everybody to give me a history check or an insight check.
I'll do insight.
Ooh, Gearfried's great at history.
What were the options?
Insight or history.
Roll 12 for 21.
I'm going with insight because that is a +4 and my history is a -1.
Alrighty. For those of you who rolled the insight check, you notice that
Oh, that 20! Beesh!
the patterns of movement seem to be very organized in the sense that as you progressed, you saw one troop that was heading north, you saw another troop that was heading southwest, you saw another troop heading west, even. Each group was organized in a rectangular pattern in which they were mobilized in unison. For those of you who rolled a history check and passed, you would recognize this type of movement previously at the very beginning of historic documents of the 100-Year War. This was one of the first strategies that Karnath employed as he began to mobilize on other countries.
Gearfried would relay that information to the rest of the group.
Wonderful. We're behind enemy lines at the start of a... I hear Valinor's nice this time of year.
You do realize that a majority of it is desert.
Feel like it's gonna be better than what this place is gonna be in the next month or so, judging by the way things are going. And I have the sneaking suspicion we don't want to be foreigners in this land when... And she kind of gestures to the sort of massing troops whenever this starts to actually move in earnest.
Technically speaking, I'm not a foreigner.
Also, once they're mobilizing, do you think they're going to stay in Karnath?
No, but seems very unlikely that they're going to move east. Maybe the principalities. That could be a
No,
nice
if they were to go over to the Moor Holds, they would be able to secure at least financial backing by raiding the vaults.
Just saying, our options to go west are very limited.
If they're spinning up for war, they have the rest of the signatories to worry about. It's not a smart move.
It's not. But it is a move. And it is a costly one. I suspect for all parties involved. Onda is certainly going to be on a tense footing as their literal neighbors.
They'd have to worry about Thrain.
True, but Thrain doesn't have as much of a border. Though probably Onda and Thrain would team up. But then it just sort of knocks over dominoes, doesn't it? So I can't imagine Karnath is a lot of things. I don't believe they're genuinely stupid. They're not going to go to war alone against the rest of the country. They have to have allies arranged somewhere, somehow.
That's part of what we're here to find out, isn't it?
We're just here to give Uncle Ram and get the fuck out.
And why do you think he went here?
Well, we also have to deliver our thing to Fort Bone, but
My point being, sirs, is that if we start investigating what he was looking into, we may find him.
she like sort of rolls her eyes and lolls her head to the side. It's like yes.
My apologies, are you not used to establishing a line of questioning?
I just don't like anything about where we're headed. The
Then why come
scale
here
of
in the first place? Still haven't answered that one for me, by the way.
well, once we find Uncle Ram, we can drop off our special package and be away.
And that's the second time you're avoiding it.
I gave you an answer. I apologize that it was not the one you were looking.
That's fine. We're falling back into certain patterns of behavior. I'm finding it amusing that you're dodging.
And I am finding it amusing that you think there's something to ask.
Saris, you have a lot to hide. I've already told you I'm not going to look into any of it.
For the best, probably. For everyone involved.
You do know I will eventually go looking, right?
You won't like the answers.
No. But I would have them.
And then I might have to kill you.
You haven't yet.
You haven't gone looking for the wrong answers.
You wouldn't be able to know when I did.
Oddly enough, I think I would.
Gearfried's gonna
Cute-
lean over to Zarya
cute that
from
you
the
think that.
distance and be like, "Are they flirting?"
What?
What'd you say?
A lot of static.
He
I was just like, as we're watching this from a distance, I'm just gonna lean over and be like, "Are they flirting?"
I hope not.
In response to Levin's statements like, you knock over a lot of hornets to get the answers you want. We'll all know if you get the answer. If you get the answers you're looking for, we're all gonna know you found them.
You don't have to find hornets to know that there's a nest.
Mm-hmm. Did she just sort of looks away?
As the pair continues to speak in idioms and proverbs, the day gradually comes to an end as the vessel that you are riding on begins to approach the capital city of Korth. During the next session, we will start off with you entering the main capital city of Karnath. Till then, we will catch you next week for we're going to see something special. Till then, for now, everybody say goodbye. We're going to call it a
Bye-bye.
weekend.
Night.
Good night.
Be
Good night,
safe and
everyone.
have a happy Memorial Day from us to you. And